Welcome to Afric Vibe News, your go-to source for bold, authentic African stories. We bring you the truth behind the headlines, straight from the continent's heart. Disclaimer: content shared here is for informational purposes only and not intended as financial, legal, or political advice. Always do your own research. Tensions rise in East Africa as President Yoweri Museveni boldly mocks Sudan for identifying as Arab. In a fiery statement, Museveni challenges historical narratives and questions national identity, sparking debate across the continent. What does this mean for regional unity and Pan-Africanism?
You look at South Sudanese, they are not black, they are actually blue. If you look at them carefully, they are blue. If you look at the South Sudanese carefully, it's not black, they're actually blue.
Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni has always been a controversial figure on the continent of Africa. From his iron fist rule to his never-ending presidential ambitions, Museveni has always courted controversy. But in recent weeks, the Ugandan leader has taken a back seat as Sudanese protesters took to the streets of their country in large numbers to demand the resignation of their transitional military leader, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan. Now, Museveni has spoken about the crisis engulfing Sudan, and he has left people shocked by his remarks. So what did Museveni say about Sudan, and why are people so shocked? Well, that's exactly what we'll be talking about in today's video. But before we get started, I ask that you hit the like button for this video and subscribe to our channel for more updates. Also, please remember to support us through the link in the description below. And with that said, let's begin. But first, if you're yet to subscribe to our channel, please do so now and join the conversation. You can also hit the notification bell icon to get updates on our latest videos. In his address to the nation, Museveni seemed to take a strong stance against the idea that Sudan is an Arab nation. Instead, he emphasized that Sudan is part of Africa and its people are Africans. He said, "Some people say the Nubians, those are Arabs. Those who say that are fools, because those Nubians were there long before the so-called Arabs came. The Arabs came later. They found the Nubians already there." This statement was clearly a reference to the ongoing conflict in Sudan between the Sudanese army and the Rapid Support Forces, a paramilitary group led by Mohamed Hamdan, also known as Hemedti. The fighting has resulted in the deaths of hundreds of civilians and the displacement of thousands more. Many people have been surprised by Museveni's strong stance on the issue, given that Uganda has traditionally had close ties with Sudan, particularly under Omar al-Bashir, who ruled Sudan from 1989 to 2019. Bashir was known for his support of rebel groups in Uganda, particularly during the early years of Museveni's rule. However, Museveni's relationship with Sudan soured after Bashir's overthrow in 2019, particularly when Sudan began to advocate for closer ties with Israel. In fact, Museveni has been a staunch critic of normalization of relations between African countries and Israel. In November last year, Museveni lambasted African leaders for normalizing diplomatic ties with Israel, saying that it was a big mistake for African countries to normalize diplomatic ties with Israel at the expense of Palestine. According to Museveni, these African leaders lack knowledge about the history of the Israeli occupation of Palestine. Museveni made these remarks while meeting with visiting Palestinian Prime Minister Mohamed Shtayyeh in Uganda. Shtayyeh is the highest-ranking Palestinian official to visit Uganda since 1989. "Our problem with normalization of relations with Israel is that some people don't know the history of Palestine. When we talk about freedom fighters, there is no difference between the Palestinians and the way our people fought for their independence," he said. Museveni noted that most of these African leaders are not knowledgeable about the history of the struggle between Palestine and Israel, saying, "When we talk about normalization of relations with Israel, they will tell you they want good relations with all countries, including America, but America is supporting Israel to occupy Palestine. You cannot be friends with the oppressor and the oppressed person at the same time." The president reiterated that his country will continue to support the Palestinian cause and accused Israel of committing atrocities against the Palestinians. Israel has committed atrocities. It is wrong for us to be friends with Israel. That is why we shall not accept the normalization of relations with Israel, because you cannot be friends with the oppressors and the oppressed at the same time, he asserted. Now, Museveni seems to be applying this same logic to Sudan. While Museveni views Sudan as an African country, many Sudanese people identify more with their Arab culture and heritage due to historical, linguistic and religious ties with their Arab neighbors. Sudan is situated in both Northeast Africa and the Arab world. Historically, it has served as a bridge between sub-Saharan Africa and the Middle East. Arabic is one of the official languages of Sudan, and Islam as the dominant religion. Many Sudanese people view themselves as Arab and have close cultural and familial links with other Arab nations. This identity is reinforced through media, education, and cultural exchanges with countries such as Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. However, it would be inaccurate to categorize Sudan solely as an Arab country. While Arabic and Islamic influences are significant, Sudan also has strong African roots. Sudan's cultural landscape is diverse, reflecting its position at the crossroads of Africa and the Middle East. Different ethnic groups within Sudan have their own unique traditions, languages, and customs. Moreover, Sudan's colonial history is intertwined with British and Egyptian rule, which have also shaped its national identity. The British occupation of Sudan in the late 19th century and subsequent joint Anglo-Egyptian rule until 1956 had a profound impact on its political, social, and economic structures. Therefore, reducing Sudan's identity to simply Arab or African overlooks the complexity and richness of its history and cultural heritage. Sudan's identity is a tapestry woven from various threads of African, Arab, and colonial influences. Recognizing this complexity is crucial for understanding the country's history, culture, and the challenges it faces. So why is Museveni making this statement now? Well, the immediate trigger seems to be the recent escalation of violence in Sudan. Since the outbreak of the conflict, thousands of Sudanese have fled to neighboring countries, including Chad, Egypt, Ethiopia, South Sudan, and Uganda. As the situation continues to deteriorate, more people are likely to be displaced, putting a strain on resources and infrastructure in neighboring countries. As a leader in the region, Museveni has called for calm and urged the Sudanese to find a peaceful resolution to the conflict. But his words have taken on a deeper meaning, as many people are beginning to question the very essence of Sudan's identity and place in Africa. Some people have argued that Sudan is not an African country because it is predominantly Arab. They believe that Sudan's cultural and historical ties with the Arab world are stronger than its ties with sub-Saharan Africa. Others argue that Sudan's location in Northeast Africa makes it geographically part of Africa, regardless of its cultural affinities. The debate over Sudan's identity is not new. It has been going on for decades. But Museveni's comments have reignited the discussion and raised awareness of the issue. What do you think? Is Sudan truly an African country, or is it more closely linked to the Arab world? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Additionally, Museveni's remarks have sparked outrage among some Sudanese people who feel that he has no right to speak about their country's identity. They argue that Sudan is a sovereign nation and its internal affairs should not be subject to foreign interference. Others have praised Museveni for speaking out and called on African leaders to prioritize the continent's interests and protect the sovereignty of African nations. As the debate over Sudan's identity continues, it is important to remember that Sudan is a country with a rich history and diverse cultures. The Sudanese people deserve our respect and support as they work to find a peaceful solution to the conflict in their country. One thing is certain, Museveni's remarks have shed light on a complex issue and raised important questions about identity, sovereignty, and the role of African leaders in protecting their citizens. Only time will tell how this debate will play out and what impact it will have on Sudan and the region as a whole. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more informative and entertaining content. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.